Ashe, Ashe, to all the beautiful, primordial, cosmic, chthonic souls out there on the soul searching journey, the hero's journey to immortality, and the journey within to all the quantum realms of eternity and beyond. Today, I'm going to be reading from the book called The Secrets of Voodoo from Milo Rigaud. I just wanted to bring this book out because I think it has a lot of great information in it that allows us to shed the dogmas again and shed the spookism that we've been trying to get away and shed from to be able to grow and finally get back into our natural essence of our true magic and black magic and true power. The origin of the voodoo rites has necessarily two aspects. The rites proceed on one hand from supernatural origin, primordial essence, the cosmos, where we come from, and on the other hand from a geographical origin. All aspects of the ritual must above all be considered secondary to the idea of the word voodoo itself, which is sometimes spelled voodoo or voodoo, since everything essential to the knowledge of the mystery is implicit in this word. The clearest explanation of this essential idea is that vu means introspection and do means into the unknown, into the mystery. And this is what we're all about here, is diving deep into the mysteries of the unknown and bringing out these words like voodoo and hoodoo and sorcery and necromancy and Satanism. We're trying to shake the spookism that has been put upon us to keep us away from our true primordial power, the true power that our soul can embody and be in its natural spirit matter essence, and not this physical matter trap that we keep talking about, that the ego is in love with and having an identity of self in this physical matrix. Here we go. Those who indulge in this introspection into the mystery will comprehend not only the voodoo gods but also the souls of those who are the adepts and the servants of these gods. And they say the Voodoo Pantheon and these deities stem from ancient Atlantean deities and energies and energetic forces. This is all just energy being recycled, restored, regenerated, and this is all energy that doesn't go anywhere. It could be tapped into, it could be harnessed, it could be used for healing, growth, transformation, regeneration, all of the above and beyond. These are type of things it says in the sentence, servants of these gods. We know we talk about King Solomon capturing all his demons in the seal. It's the same thing with the cartoon Pokemon and capturing all the Pokemon. It's the same concepts all over again, being able to master the darkest forces that are within self that make you the most powerful. You know, the ancients used to use the depictions of these monsters and these monstrous beings and depictions because the more demonic or more quote unquote scary something looks, it's a symbolic allegory for how powerful it is. So the more demonic and more satanic and the more crazy and out there something looks, the more monstrous means it holds the most power, which is you and the power within when you know thyself. We gotta shake the dogma of spookism, of you could just say these terms. These are like a trigger word that I'll use. I'll say voodoo, and people get spooked out, and I now understand what level of energy they are on to be able to communicate with them. But these, you have to ask yourself, why does a word trigger you to get scared? A word, let alone not just not let alone an experience, actually just a word. We have to dig deep and really want to shed. If you want to shed and these opportunities come up to where somebody's sharing information that you haven't heard before, knowledge is supposed to shake your boots a little bit to make you seek further or look more into it and not just keep hearing knowledge that you already know. It's not really helping you grow. You need something that's going to make you want more, want to make you look further into something else. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. We're great at adapting to any situation. So you just have to throw yourself out there and have trust and confidence in your higher self, love yourself more, that you're going to always be able to grow from any situation and experience. Voodoo sinks its roots of origin in the most brilliant and most remote civilizations. The Haitian voodooist Her Ramael wrote in his book, The Daemons of the Voodoo Cult, it is in vain that subtle processes have been employed to envelope in darkness the brilliant phases of the mental evolution of the Negro. Indisputably, the antique Ethiopian, Egyptian, Assyrian civilization should be credited to its account. For thousands of years before the advent of Christ, Negro theologians and philosophers working together had organized types of academies, the mystery schools, dedicated to the study of the problems of the physical world and human destiny. Correlation, once again, as above, so below. The spiritual and the physical merged together as one. Although all the theocratic legislation of Moses, that is, the social and religious codes, the esoteric codes contained in the Bible, bear the imprint of the sacred formulas of the Negro faith. The sacred formulas, the sacred geometry, the sacred alchemical process and transformation that is truly this ancient scripture, the esoteric meaning behind the exoteric scripture that we read today in the Bible. Reading between the lines, understanding the symbolic, allegorical stories in the Bible and using them and transforming yourself based off those esoteric situations, experiences, and stories. The formation of the idea of religion implies beliefs about the formation of the world, about the soul, and about death. Euros, Burroughs, introspection, soul searching, trying to figure out purpose, where we come from, what we are doing, where we are going, and what we are supposed to do. Patient observations of celestial space and of the stars which throng the sky has given rise to the animism which holds that supernatural beings direct the movements of the stars. And from here, primitive intuition has led to contemplations productive of myth and legend. From here also arose those sciences of observation, at the head of which must be placed astronomy. The entire hieroglyphic system of Egypt is based upon the symbolic connection which exists between the various beings and the cosmic forces, these latent forces, these cosmic forces, between the beings and the lowest laws of creation. The word lowest, which means laws in French, is emphasized in the above context inasmuch as it more frequently spelled lower when used as a voodoo term. The lowest, in parentheses, the laws of creation, create the lowest animistic spirits, invisible manifestations such as plants, animals, and men, but chiefly as ancestors, because voodoo is essentially a cult of ancestor worship. And they say the ancestors, when they die, they go to live within you. That is, again, the subatomic daemonic forces, the 72 demons of Goetia that we always mention and talk about. And this could be empowering self. So ancestor worship is truly just the worship of self. We got to get back to adoring and admiring ourself, our true essence of self, and what we are becoming and transforming into. The only thing constant is change. So to be in that flow state of change and the cosmic flow of change, it's the universal song being sung by the universe. To be able to listen, to be able to hear, flow, and dance with the universal tune and tone is what will allow the soul to transform and transition in the purest way. I want to read this sentence one more time. The lowest, the laws of creation. We always talk about the universal principles. The Kabbalion talks about the 7 universal principles. Great book to read. Create the lowest animistic spirits. And that's where you can correlate how everything has a spirit. Everything is animated to be able to move and function in this physical, visible matrix. Invisible manifestations such as plants, animals, and men. Once again, the correlation and connection with everything, the mycelial network that connects everything. The Africans, believing that the manes souls of the dead reascend to the heavens, identified them with the stars, cymatics. For this reason, Her Ramael continues, the beliefs about the soul and about death have naturally given rise to the cult of the dead, which in turn leads to the deification of human souls. Souls thus deified, or as it were, canonized after death, used to be called daemons by the Greeks. Interesting how this word pops up again in another book, and this is what we've been talking about to again get back into the origin of things. Where do these things originate from? That is one of the issues I have with a lot of spiritual people on social media nowadays as well. You know, they like to talk about the dark and the light. Nobody is talking about where this stuff originates from. And that interests me. And that is a head scratcher to me. Why are we not digging back deep to the beginning and before the beginning, which is truly our essence? Even in the Bible, it says, in the beginning, there was darkness. That means in the beginning, there was darkness. That means there was before a beginning, because that's speaking about even before the creation of this physical realm, this light, the matrix, the physical earth. That is our true essence, the primordial triple blackness of quote unquote space. They say an atom has 99.99999% space in it, an atom. They say our universe has 90%, over 90% dark matter and space. That's limitless potential and possibility for eternity and beyond. This journey never stops. And I wanted to read this one excerpt out of here, and it's to also get back into basically what these gods can do for us, what these spirits can do when quote unquote calling on them. I lost my spot in the book. I had it already ready, but looks like I lost my page. But these are things to open your imagination. You know, I like to bring out things that make you think more. When somebody tells me, wow, I never thought of it like that, that's one of the most amazing things I could ever hear. Is I just want to be able to help you see things from a different angle to allow your imagination and consciousness to expand. The contraction to expansion. We got to contract and go within to be able to expand without. This is a part from this book called What the Gods Can Do. Now, I want to bring this out to, again, shed the spookism of voodoo when you're calling on spirits, or somebody says they're summoning demons or conjuring up demons or conjuring up spirits. Once again, we have to dodge the hijack of these words and get back into just pure essence of energy. So when somebody says they're into voodoo, these are some things that the voodoo spirits can do for you. So let's see if these things are good or bad, and whether they are helping or causing havoc. A mystery spirit can mount, take over, possess a person for the following reasons. The first one is to protect him. The first one is to protect him. Doesn't everybody want protections? People talk about being spiritually attacked. So calling on the spirits can get you protected. To confer upon him a power or a faculty that he needs for the successful accomplishment of a task, and which he does not ordinarily have. To permit him, for example, to swim to land in case of shipwreck if he does not know how to swim. Many people report that such and such a person did not know how to swim, and when a sailboat on which he was sailing was wrecked, naturally, he almost drowned, since the incident occurred on the open sea. However, Agua mounted him, possessed him, gave him power, and brought him to shore. To permit him to remove himself with supernatural speed. So you know the cartoon character Flash, and you know the Silver Surfer, and all these super powers, and these characters of anime with all these superpowers once again are mocking you. The greatest flattery is mockery in this entire physical universe. Everything is constructed around the anatomy of your soul incarnated in this 5-sensed vessel. To cure him of illness or to prevent him from suffering. To give him counsel. In this case, those who speak to the possessed person repeat to him the advice that the Loa gave during the Loa crisis. The channeling. To give some other person a treatment, or simply to prescribe or to compose a remedy. To punish the horse for some offense. In this case, despite the commands and rebukes of the Hungan, the mystery may refuse to leave to dismount the horse for days, for hours or days, determined to exhaust them as much as possible. Often we see the consequences of such a punishment, a dislocated limb, or an illness which only the mystery who caused it can cure. So this is what I mentioned before about how we have to experiment with things, trial and error, and how your higher self, your spirit, the spirit guide will always let you know if you're doing something that is out of whack, that does not benefit you. So, this is a great example of, I tore my ACL 3 years ago playing football when I was really at my peak with playing professional football and trying to keep pursuing that career in football. But during that, I can't soul search as well. I'm a very wholehearted, passionate person. So I'm locked in with one thing. I can't have one foot in one thing and one foot in the other. So I tore my ACL after I played my first pro season in Mexico. And I was actually training to go back and play pro again. But I ended up tearing my ACL. So that was me, a sign from the higher power of, okay, football is not for me right now. It's not really what I was born to do. I was born to really soul search and get into this consciousness and raise my consciousness in the consciousness of the galaxies around me from within me. It's beautiful. It's all signs and magical miracle signs that if you can analyze and see them and try to pick them apart, this is what you can use to now motivate yourself, inspire yourself, and now be your own guru and your own guide in this spiritual journey to transform back into pure spirit matter. Number 8, to point out some forbidden ritual. So again, if you're doing something that's forbidden and not right for yourself, you will be you will be let know. They will let you know. Excuse me, I can't even speak. I'm speaking backwards and forwards at the same time. To give warning of danger threatening an individual or the community. So now we can get warning signs from the higher spirits, from the spirits within, from the daemonic forces, from the ancestral spirits, anything you want to call it to make you feel better about just the pure essence of the natural flow state that we primordially come from and the primordial essence that runs through our veins, to preside over or to assist at a ritual ceremony, to come and get a sacrificial offering. Because all of these functions relating as much to the code as the everyday life, the most important consequences for the mystical life as well as the national life follow from the participation of the voodoo laws in human affairs. This is happening no matter what you believe in. These energetic forces, emotions, energies in motion, shapes are always forming within us, and these cycles are always spiraling within us. It's on us to be able to master the cycles within the cycles, the mystery within the mystery, and go within and master these worlds within worlds in these quantum realms that are in us. We are the key to eternity. Thus, in everything that particularly concerns Haitian life, voodoo is like a superior soul, the collective consciousness, the cosmic web, which acts as a counterpart of the soul, your daemon, as ordinarily regarded, and which accompanies man in all his occupations. Your higher self, your soul, your spirit guide, everything that everybody always naturally talks about, but now when you bring it from an aspect of voodoo or hoodoo or black magic or Satanism, these are now things that you're going to have to look at and be like, when the truth has hit you and you have to face it, are you going to turn a cheek and turn a blind eye, or are you going to be able to accept it and grow and shed dogmatic beliefs from past man's teachings? And I wanted to also bring up a situation that I've been observing with a lot of our quote unquote conscious leaders, spiritual public figures, and spiritual coaches and leaders. This dark side is where it's at. This dark side energy, dark forces is where it's at. This is our true primordial essence, the black magic, the cosmic black hole magic is where the Enochian magic, everything, Typhonian magic, this is where we come from. This is our natural essence no matter what. How can you claim to be spiritual if you're not tapping in, indulging with dark spirits? That's something that we got to ask when we're observing these people who are talking about being spiritual and trying to help us arise. And then these situations are arising where these men are getting arrested for things. Okay. And we have rituals and spells that can get you out of legal matters and court cases, especially if you're wrongly accused. So We have these men that are getting arrested for these type of allegations, but why aren't they themselves having the understanding that they can use the dark magic and voodoo and hoodoo and all these rituals to get themselves out? So it makes me bear the question, ask the question, are they really spiritual? Are they really messing with the spirits? Or are they like the new age false prophets and preachers that are giving half truths and leading people astray with half truth? There's literally court case and legal matters. This is a book, Hoodoo, Herb, and Root Magic. This is one book that has rituals in here that will get you out of court cases and legal matters. This is another one, the Hoodoo Bible. Spells for justice. So even the people that are following these people, these men that have all these followings and that go to jail, and these people say free them and justice for this person, and they're starting petitions to get these people out of these, to try to get them out of these mundane prison jail aspects of experience. Why aren't y'all digging deep into our true black magic and conjuring up mass spells to get these people out? Or is everybody faking the funk, man? You got to observe and analyze and discern what's really going on and see what's going on and how these people truly move. We give people the benefit of the doubt on claiming that they're this, claiming that they're a prophet. Fine, cool. Now, once we see what they're talking about and how they're giving their energy, that's when we can discern if the person is really who they are or who they say they are. Spells for justice, day in court spell, court trial victory spell, court case victory spell to slow down and confuse court case opponents, justice mojo bag to confuse court proceedings. These are all the Oshi spell to obtain justice. This is a spell that you can use to literally get you out of any situation. Any situation, especially if you're wrongly accused. So that again makes me ask the question, are these people really digging in deep to the shadow self, the dark subconscious quantum realms of self that manifest and control the construct of this physical matrix? We got to start asking these questions, man. And on the back of this book, the Hoodoo Bible, it has a very beautiful quote by Zora Hurston. It says, mystery is the essence of divinity. So getting back into these mysterious, these aspects of self where we come from will allow us to finally open up to the true essence of self, the true primordial essence of self. There is another PDF that I have called the Voodoo Hoodoo Spellbook. And this is another one that again has spells in it, and that also prove again that if we're dealing with the law, and if this is an illusion, and all this stuff that we're going through, if somebody gets arrested and allegations are put upon them, there are voodoo and hoodoo spells that we can do to get these people out. Or maybe the spirit really has these people sitting in there to humble them or to make them truly realize themselves and go through ego deaths now, opposed to faking the funk. Now, this is from out of the Hoodoo Voodoo Spellbook. Court case spells. Court case spells are used in all kinds of ways, from getting and staying out of jail, to helping someone else in jail, to putting someone else in jail, to having someone released from jail and keeping someone in jail. There are spells to enhance testimony, spells to silence the witness, spells to make the judge and jury sympathetic, and spells to confuse attorneys. In short, there are court spells to suit any and every occasion. So once again, in addition, you should be familiar with the 7th and 35th Psalms. And if using candles, make sure they are brown for victory. Purple can be used for power over the opposing parties. 7 day saint candles to use include Just, Judge, and Nino de Atocha. The Santeria, the hoodoo, the voodoo, day in court spell again, dress for court. The the courts will rule in your favor. Write the judge. This is just, we'll just go a quick example, so I can hurry up and end this video and try to keep it under 30 minutes. Write the judge's name 3 times, the prisoner's name 3 times, the district attorney's name 3 times, and fold the paper small and tell the prisoner to wear it in his shoe. Then get some oil of rose, geranium, lavender oil, and verbena oil. Put 3 drops of oil in 1/2 ounce club soda, shake it, and give it to the prisoner. He must use 7 to 9 drops 7 to 9 on the person in court by rubbing it on his hand and rub from his face down his whole front. His clothes must be also dressed by placing 7 to 9 drops on them. Get to court before it starts and dress the courtroom, jury box, and judges stand in the same fashion. The courts will rule in your favor. These are just examples of things. Again, we have the justice spell, the Oshi spell for justice. The spell petitions the help of Oshi, the lower prisoners, and the falsely accused. So we have a direct spell for the falsely accused. So why are all these spiritual people that we are looking up to and following in there if they're falsely accused? And we have spells right here that we can do to get them out, but they're still sitting in prison, in jail. Observe more, talk less, go within. I shade all the primordial souls out there. I appreciate everybody who's been giving me support, energy, and soul connection. Is truly healing for me, and it truly helps me stay inspired and motivated with self to be my own guru, to be able to tell you to relate to yourself and look within yourself to become your own guru. Ashe, keep soul searching and going within, and keep being the best souls that you guys can be. Ashe, 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 115.